Hello everyone, welcome to an interview with Carl Fletcher. 44 appearances, 3 goals, but 2 finals. Not many players can say they played in 2 finals for us now. Yeah, okay, one of them may not be classed as a final per se, but I'm going to include it anyway because it sounds good. Carl, how are you doing?
Yeah, really good, really good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us as always. Now let's start with the very start. You joined West Ham August 2004, just under £300,000, a bit of a bargain. How did it all come about? Tell us a story.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty quick, I think, to be honest. Obviously at Bournemouth, played there obviously since I was 11. I think grew up in Bournemouth, so hometown club and everything. And then there'd been I think the year before there'd been a few bits of interest from a few clubs, but nothing concrete. And I think at the time Bournemouth was a lot different than what it is at the minute, in terms of financially. So it was just like every player was basically up for sale kind of thing. So I think it was around a bank holiday time, and I got a phone call, spoke to someone, my agent said West Ham had come in, the club had accepted a bid, needed to sort out like personal terms kind of thing, and that was kind of done within literally like a day. I reckon it wasn't. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a big thing. I think it was a no-brainer in terms of, do you know what I mean? West Ham comes, are you going to go kind of thing. So, yeah, it was a strange time because back in the day, I had a game to play on the Monday, so everything was agreed. Club had accepted the bid, personal terms had been all agreed. I was going, but I still played the game on the Monday. I think it was Luton away. I think we played. It was. I remember it was a terrible game kind of thing, but I still played, and you know I could have got injured or anything could have happened really. But it was kind of that was the way things happened back then. So yeah, played the game, and then I think the manager told everyone in the changing room after. Do you know what I mean? Where it kind of hit home a little bit, and it was quite, I think, an emotional time for me. Like I didn't realise it. Do you know what I mean? Kind of as I was going through everything, but yeah, you know, to be at my boyhood club and then to suddenly leave, it just kind of hit me in that moment. But yeah, and then literally next day, I was packing my bags up to Waltham Abbey, stayed in the Marriott at Waltham Abbey, and yeah, started getting my medical done, and then it was all kind of done and dusted. So I knew Peter Grant was obviously our assistant manager at Bournemouth for a period, then obviously he went up with Alan. So yeah, so I knew him, so he's a friendly face, but and there was a couple of others I knew through outside of football that I'd known previously. So yeah, just really excited to get there. Do you know what I mean? It was all a bit of a whirlwind to say the least, and it wasn't drawn out as much as things seem to these days. Few phone calls, and that was it. I was gone. And it's best thing I've ever done. Best thing I've ever done. Just for me, put football to one side as a personal thing. Do you know what I mean? Just to, you know, growing up in Bournemouth, very isolated, to get out and go to London was like literally like chalk and cheese. And they say about getting outside your comfort zone, but that was the best thing for me, just to go and live, you know, move away from home, live in London, different people, different experiences. You know what I mean? Just every day was different, and it was the best thing I'd done for me as from a personal point of view from that side, and obviously football side because West Ham was a massive club, absolute no brainer for me.
Speaking of Grant, did you speak to him prior to deciding to go to West Ham? Was there a conversation between knowing that West Ham were in for you and you joining West Ham? Did you speak to Grant personally to find out about the club? And secondly, do you know who chose to buy you? Because obviously on the face of it, you assume it was Alan Pardew, but obviously Grant would have known you well from your time at Bournemouth, is trusted by Pardew. So do you think he might have had a word in Alan's ear and said, this is a midfielder you need to get to West Ham?
Yeah, I think so. So going to your first one, I think, do you know what? I can't even remember. I think I did. I think I spoke to him, but only briefly. I mean, it wasn't a case of I had to speak to him to make my mind up. It wasn't that. It was just, you know, probably just ticking a lot of boxes, doing the due diligence as you would do. But yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, yeah, Peter would have had some kind of influence. I'm sure West Ham would have had, you know, a certain type of player that they were looking to get in. You know what I mean? A midfielder at the time, blah blah blah. And I'm sure Peter would have put my name in the hat. I think ultimately everything, all the decisions in terms of players, as far as I remember, were down to the manager at the end of the day. So I'm sure he would have put me there as an option. And ultimately, do you know what I mean? Alan would have made final decision, I suppose. So you know, I think it's it always helps that there's someone there that obviously I knew Peter knew me and not just knew me from playing against me or anything like that. He was on a daily basis. I think when he first come to Bournemouth, he was still a player, so I actually played with him, kind of thing. And then I think he soon realised his legs are gone and he was far too old to kind of compete anymore. So went kind of full time into the coaching. But yeah, great guy. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, he knew me inside and out. We spent a good fair bit of time working together. So to have someone on that side that gives all the positives and negatives, I think can only be a good thing. And then ultimately, the decision makers make the decision.
When you rocked up at West Ham, we'd obviously just missed out on promotion to the Premier League, got beaten in the playoff final a few months prior. What was sort of like the mood and morale around the club? Like, there'd obviously been some changes as well. Some players had left, some players had come in again, and it was almost like a new team to some extent.
Yeah, I think it was a funny, like it felt great to me. Like all the lads were great. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was very welcoming. Do you know what I mean? Just really accepted me into the group, and I think there was a few players of all similar ages. Do you know what I mean? Still, hungry and really wanted to do well for the club, kind of thing. But I felt there was that kind of trepidation, like it was like it could have gone either way. Do you know what I mean? Because you was in the Championship, is the added pressure. Just missed out the year before. There was that expectation that whether it's right or wrong, we shouldn't have been in this league. We should be higher. That kind of scenario. And I felt it was very much on a knife edge a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? And maybe dependent on results. You know what I mean? Even when you were winning, sometimes just winning wasn't enough. You had to win well, and if you lost, then it was like a little bit at the end of the world. But I think within the group, everyone was quite level-headed on where we needed to get. Do you know what I mean? And had the target of getting to the next league, however you do that. Do you know what I mean? And I think that was really key between players, coaching staff, management, that kept everyone kind of on a bit of an even keel. And even though there was a lot of pressure from outside, inside the building, everyone was quite determined and quite I wouldn't say quietly confident, but had that drive to kind of do what it took to kind of get over the line.
How do you think your first season went up until the playoffs? We'll talk about the playoffs on it. So, but that season in general, how do you think you got on?
I mean, it was okay. It was okay for me. There were some good bits, some bad bits. I think the move and going to a new club and like kind of realizing when you're actually in a club how big West Ham is. Do you know what I mean? You kind of took its toll towards the end of the season on me. Just I think everything. Do you know what I mean? Like moving away. Obviously, I lived on my own in Bournemouth, but like moving to another part of the country. You know what I mean? Trying to settle down, houses and all that kind of everything that comes with it kind of took its toll a little bit towards the end. And do you know what I mean? I think rightly so. I think, like I said, I think in certain games I definitely could have played better. But I think the one thing that it may be a thing that came with the reason to kind of take me or buy me, that whether I'm playing or whether I'm not, I'm kind of pulling in the right direction. I'm trying to do as best I can, A, because I want to play, B, do you know what I mean? If I'm trying my hardest in training, it's going to push the other players further, do you know what I mean, harder. So I just wanted to succeed and to win. And I think, like I said, we had a good group and we had some good people in that group, some good friends, and everyone was kind of trying to do the right thing, trying to get to the end goal, which luckily enough we did.
You spoke a bit about expectation being at West Ham, obviously sort of one of the biggest teams and the best teams in that division. Was sort of finishing in the playoff space is deemed a failure amongst you, or was it just a case of it's only a failure if we don't go up? If we go up, it's a success.
I wouldn't have said it seemed a failure, and it never felt like a failure when we was actually going through the season. Do you know what I mean? I think it was just like kind of like we were very matter of fact. Let's just take the next game, and we end up where we are, kind of thing. I think the year before that we'd done the playoffs, and obviously hadn't gone up, was obviously in some ways a positive because it gives you that little bit of experience for the ones that had still been there. So no one was kind of too worried about it, kind of thing. I think most of the players had some kind of experience through the playoffs and going through and being successful. And ultimately, if you can go up through the playoffs, it is the best way. Like there's no doubt about it. So yeah, I don't think there was any feeling of like kind of what's the word? kind of disappointment or anything. So, yeah, of course you'd like to go up automatically because then you don't have to worry about it. But I think the good thing for us was it was good that we were sixth and we played Ipswich, who were third, because you could argue that they were a better side and maybe there was a little bit of pressure off us because there was, quite close to going up it automatically, Ipswich, I think, at the time. So, yeah, I don't feel like we felt any too much major pressure going into the games. We were just very focused on what we needed to do. And maybe that was a bit of, we was a fairly young team, fairly young squad as well. And sometimes with that youngness or that inexperience just comes a little bit of, what's the word, like a no fear kind of scenario. So never really went into the games kind of thinking too much about it or worrying too much about the expectation.
What do you remember about the playoffs? Obviously, the first one you weren't involved, but the second leg you very much played 90 minutes away at Ipswich, winning 2-0. What do you remember about the whole thing?
I think the first one I met was a very topsy-turvy game. I think, and it was just great atmosphere. And again, I think it probably almost done us a favour being at home first, and then the second leg just kind of took the edge off. I know for the second leg we obviously changed the formation a little bit. I think obviously their two front men, Shefki Kuki and Darren Bent, were very prolific that season, worked really well together. Do you know what I mean? Darren Bent running in behind and stretching defenders. Shefki Kuki very much able to hold the ball up, win his headers, a very much of an old school target man kind of thing. So I know we changed, and that's the reason I got in the team at the time. I was very much have to do a bit of a role on screening the striker to try and stop that out ball for their defenders or to stop them, just allowing me to compete with Kuki and allowing us to still keep four defenders behind the ball almost to a degree. And it worked really well. And we just kind of went into the game. And then if anything, they may have felt the pressure being at home their end, but we were very confident and we won the game. I think it was 2-0, wasn't it, in the end? And we're very comfortable. From what I remember of the game, I felt we were very comfortable, come out of it and didn't really feel like we had any issues at all. And it wasn't like a massive celebration. Yeah, we were pleased to get through, but it was kind of like, well, that's just something we needed to do, and then on to the next one.
Was there any sort of nerves given what happened 12 months ago that we'd obviously lost in the playoff final? Was the ones that were involved in both finals, were they perhaps a little bit worried, if you like?
What, within the squad or just within
within the squad?
No, I don't think so. I think everyone was just really excited. Do you know what I mean? And again, I think that went down to, if the ones that have been there before the year before, they had the experience, they know what to expect. The new ones that had come in, just young and hungry and just, they would have had experience before, like I said, all kind of decent ages, whether they played at some kind of good level or have had some kind of experience of a promotion or a playoff. So just excited for the occasion, really. I think the biggest thing for me is obviously played the second leg in the semi-final, and I don't know why. For some reason, I just never thought I wouldn't play in the final. I just didn't see it coming. And then Alan pulled me into his office one day before training and told me. And to be honest, I should have seen it coming, really, because I only come in for that game, especially towards the end of the season. But for some reason, I didn't. I probably just blocked it out because I wanted to play. But yeah, he just said, look, he was, the way the team was going to play, and obviously Hayden and Nige were. I think it was Hayden. Was it Hayden and Nige that started?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, so they'd obviously done well. Do you know what I mean? So I just didn't see it coming, and it floored me. I'll be honest, it floored me. It did. It really, just because I hadn't mentally prepared for that kind of news on that day. So, but yeah, once you get over that, then you're all in as a group, as a squad, because you could be on after 1 minute. Do you know what I mean? Or 91st minute, and you might be the most important player to come on that pitch. So, it was definitely disappointing not to play, but do you know what I mean? Like I said, the main focus was the group and getting promoted. And I think it was a shit game on it. I think from what I remember, it was a terrible game. But championship playoff finals generally are not that great, and just to get the win and just to get through it. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you tick it off and then that's it. You go through. Done.
What was it like for you? Perhaps not necessarily Carl Fletcher, the West Ham United player, but Carl Fletcher, the Welshman, because the final's obviously at the Millennium Stadium. Does it almost hurt you twice that you're not involved in the playoff final? Because A, it's a playoff final, but then B, it's in your home country as well, at that stadium where you'd obviously feature for your country, but such a big match on a big occasion, it's arguably the most expensive game in football, still is to this day. It's worth 90 million and stuff. So does it hurt you twice in a way that you weren't able to play at your home ground?
I wouldn't say it hurt me twice, because obviously I had the experience of playing there. I think it was probably helped make it less nerve-wracking, because I think we stayed in the same hotel that we'd stay when I used to stay with Wales. So you're used to them surroundings. I'm used to the drive-in. I'm used to where the crowds will be outside, the changing rooms, everything like that. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it was like a double whammy to miss out on that kind of scenario. And if anything, like I said, it helped with, just easing everything through, kind of thing, and letting fully focus on the game. But I think everyone went into it. No one was too worried about the outside noise and stuff. I think the coach and staff done well just to keep us focused on who we were playing, treating it as kind of a bit of a normal game. Nothing really changed too much. So I don't even know if we got suits for the game. I think we might have stayed in tracksuits, like something like that. Do you know what I mean? Where, why change what we were doing on a generally for the other 20 odd plus away games that we'd done during the season. So it was, like I said, it was a rubbish game, but them games you just got to win them. Like however you can, just win them.
It was a bit bittersweet for you not being involved. Obviously, you're on one hand, you're trying to salvage. You're now a Premier League player. You've got up. See this sort of mission for the season, if you like, done. It's a fantastic achievement. The crowd are going mental. But on the other hand, you don't really play the part. How does it affect you on the scale of John Terry? Get your tracksuit off. You're running on the pitch, full kit. Let's go. Or on the other side of it, how did it?
It does. It does affect you.
Shine off.
Yeah, it does a little bit. I think, especially as well, I've been at Bournemouth and been used to just playing every game, every minute, every game, pretty much, for a number of years. So, it does affect you. There's always that thing where you don't always feel 100% part of it, kind of thing. Like you're 100% part of the squad, but inside, you want to be the one that plays. You want to play 90 minutes and come off winning. You do, but that's just natural, and any footballer's got that kind of thing. And you have to almost see past that kind of thing. You have to put yourself to one side. Yes, from a personal point of view, you want to play 90 minutes. You want to score 5 goals. That's what you want to do. That's what you dream of. But you have to see the bigger picture, and kind of see it for what it is, and say the main thing is that the priority is the team, is the squad. And if that's helping out the ones that are playing, is that making sure you're ready in case you need to come on, or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Then that's what you need to do.
Obviously,
and I think that.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the main reasons we done it, because the squad was so good. Do you know what I mean? The squad was very together. That there were different like friendship groups within it, but as a whole, everyone was on the same page. Everybody wanted everyone to do well for the bigger thing, rather than the individual, for the bigger picture.
Season finishes, you're now a Premier League player, go off on your holiday with your family, you come back, and then start season, you're off to Watford for a month on loan. How did that come about?
Yeah, I just wasn't playing. Just wasn't playing. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, pre-season was okay. And then it was just like, I just wanted to play games. I don't think I was even on the bench at the time. You know what I mean? Obviously going to the Premier League, like Yossi come in, Konchesky, Roy Carroll. I think we might have signed Ginge at that time as well. Nobes was another year older. Do you know what I mean? So I just wasn't playing. Do you know what I mean? Wasn't even on the bench. So just wanted to play some games. And Watford just come up, and then just went there for a month, and it was okay. Do you know what I mean? It was okay. They had some good players, good squad and stuff. So it was just good to get some minutes.
And you come back in, you're in and out of the team for the rest of the season. Appearance is limited, I think it's fair to say, mainly due to the form of, obviously, like you said, Rio Coker and Hayden Mullins. Is that tough to take? Obviously, you finally achieved what I assume is just a footballing ambition of yours, which is playing in the Premier League. You get there and you're just involved on like a part-time basis. And while there is the bigger picture, which is West Ham United, but there's also yourself as a player. Is it hard to sort of not be involved as much as you'd like?
Yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult, just to go through day to day, and it was, I'd say, a tough time, but a new experience. Do you know what I mean? a new experience. And I think, looking back, I should have probably dealt with it better than what I did. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of accept it for ways. But again, going from playing every week, do you know what I mean? What I'd done from quite a young age at Bournemouth to then not, do you know what I mean? Is a new experience. And I think, like I said, if you had that experience before, and I think this day and age is kind of a more common thing where, you don't always play kind of thing, stuff like that. So, I just wanted to play. I think that was the main thing for me. And it took me a little while to kind of get my head around and stuff like that. I mean, there was no issues in terms of my training or anything like that. I was still very professional in what I'd done, but it's quite difficult for me to take because, you want to play football kind of thing. And that was the only thing that I was thinking of. So it was from a personal point of view, it's quite a tough one to kind of get my head around and kind of deal with. Do you know what I mean? Which was new, but like I said, I think if I'd have been a bit older, a bit more experienced, I think I would have seen it for what it was, and not as worry as much about it as I probably did at the time.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit. Hayden Mullins gets sent off, which provides an opportunity for you. The first one is, I think there's some players at West Ham. I think every player at West Ham's remembered for something. It obviously varies. You've got your legends, and then you've got someone. There might be players that's remembered for like a red card or something. You're always remembered for something. I think for you, it's that goal against Tottenham. I think. Well, that's how I remember you, because I was a lot younger then. I was still at school, and my dad used to take me to 3 games a season, and that was the home game that season. Was that one? I remember being in the pub, the game maybe getting postponed and stuff. And as a kid, I'll be honest with you, I was a bit like, oh, do we have to be here? Do you know what I mean? Come on, I'm from Aberdeen, as you can tell, right? So come all the way down from Aberdeen. Yeah. The game might not be going ahead. I'm a bit like, oh, I'm missing school, my friends and stuff like that and stuff. But that goal is something. I don't remember all the games I've been to because I was too young. My memory's done, if you like. But that goal, I still remember it perfectly from where I was in the crowd and stuff. What do you remember about the whole day? Because it's not just a game, is it? It's the whole day for that one.
Yeah,
beating Tottenham.
Yeah, it was a strange day. I think because obviously Hayden got sent off, and I think Alan Pardew had said to me, I think he put me in the team, and he said, look, like quite early on, like about 3 weeks before, he said, look, you're going to play all the games and you're going to play the cup final. Do you know what I mean? Because he knew he was out. So I think that was quite good because it just took the pressure off, I suppose, to a degree, and just go out and play the games. And the games helped to where I hadn't played as much to get a feel for stuff again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Spurs, it was such a strange day. Like it, obviously there's the rivalry, they're going for Champions League, and do you know what I mean? It was just one of them days. And then there was a delay in kickoff, and you think, okay, which happened quite a lot because it's London and teams come down, and sometimes, especially from up north, they don't gauge the traffic and get into the stadium and stuff. But this is Spurs, so you don't expect it to be that. And then there was like things saying, oh, they're going to delay it because all their players are ill and stuff like that. And you kind of never really thought anything of it. And then was in the changing room, and then I don't even know how long it got delayed, the game, but they just said, yeah, we're going to play. Do you know what I mean? I think we're going to play. And I just think where we were there was so much positivity around the place. We had the cup final coming up. We had, I wouldn't say people playing for their places, but, there was a feel good. People wanted to do well. They wanted to do well for the crowd. They knew it was a derby, so everyone's up for that kind of thing. And it just one of them days that went really well for us. And it was a tough game. And I don't remember them being anything off the pace or anything like that. But it was a good team performance and a good win, and it really helped us go on towards the cup final. And it was a good day. I mean, it wasn't a great day. Like all my in-laws are Spurs fans. Do you know what I mean? So my brother-in-law was in a pub full of Spurs fans. Do you know what I mean? And they're like watching it on telly, and they obviously all know that I was brother-in-law kind of thing. And then they see me score, and he's like, "Do you know what I mean? I need to get out of here." Do you know what I mean? There was like giving him daggers and everything. Just like, what the, you know what I mean? What the fuck's going on? Why is he scoring against Spurs? Kind of thing. He's your brother-in-law kind of thing. So that was that was a little bit frosty in the in-laws' house in the next week or so. But yeah, no, it was great. It was great, and I get asked about the goal a lot. Do you know what I mean? So, just really pleased. Just like I say, one of them days where everything went really well and really enjoy it, and then you get that, it's you get that feeling after, like when you're a kid, you just love football. You just love it. Everything goes right. Score a goal. know what I mean? You feel like you've worked hard, the team's done really well. So it's a great feeling.
FA Cup day though comes round a couple of weeks later. We've got the FA Cup game again, another day rather than just a game. What do you remember about the whole day, the build up, the match? Tell me the Carl Fletcher FA Cup final experience.
Yeah, do you know, again, I think the same to the playoff one. I think we stayed in the same hotel, I think, Vale of Glamorgan. So we'd obviously done the year before, so that was fine. I think it was all pretty relaxed. Everyone had the experience of the year before. I think there's always a little bit of nervousness because we play in Liverpool, which is obviously, you know what I mean, they've had a very strong team, very successful seasons in recent years and stuff. So but yeah, just again, very, very relaxed, very focused on what we needed to do, focused on the team. I feel like everyone was prepared, everyone knew their jobs, everyone was going like we'd had quite a good season for the first year back in the Premier League. I think we were 10th, maybe 9th, something like that. Do you know what I mean? Finished. So it was real positivity around the place and kind of a, like a no-win situation, like a win-win situation really for us because there was no really expectation on us to kind of go and win the FA Cup. With Liverpool being favourites. So, yeah, went into that. I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest difference, and obviously I've been there with playoffs previously and obviously with Wales, but the noise on that day with the crowd and even in the warm-up and stuff was so much louder than I'd ever heard it before. It was kind of deafening and you could literally not speak to like someone 5 yards away. So it was, I think that's the biggest thing I noticed in terms of the game from anything else kind of that you play. And then, went out and played. Do you know what I mean? Did the national anthems and all that kind of stuff, which a lot of us were used to because of internationals and things. And then played and then, we're like 2-0 up. And you're like, fucking hell, what's going on here?
Ordering on when your missus ordered the polish from a medal, love. I need to back that one up. Take it around the Tottenham in-laws. Do you know what one of these are? Do you know what one of these are?
That's it. Have you seen one of these, mate? Checking the clock every 5. How long left, ref? And it's only like 15 minutes gone. But it was. We was there, but I don't think we ever got like too far ahead of ourselves because we knew like Liverpool were a good team and we knew they'd always be in it, kind of thing. But I mean, to be honest, apart from the main bits and a couple of snippets, a lot of it is a blur. If I'm going to be brutally honest. Do you know what I mean? A lot of it is a blur. I know it's really hot, which it always usually is on FA Cup final day. And I think, if I'm going to be brutally honest, we should have won. Do you know what I mean? We should have won. And it's just one of them things that, do you know what I mean? This football either goes your way or it doesn't. And it's it's just really disappointing. I think when you kind of finish playing and you get older and you look back, because. You get all these players today and they talk about it all the time, even now, Champions League and blah, 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 and things like that. We want to get into this, or he's getting a new contract or whatever. But players want medals. Do you know what I mean? They want medals at the end of the day because, like I said, you don't put on your CV how many times you played in the Champions League or anything like that. It's how many times did you win this? How many times that I won that? I played in that and I won that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what you want to do because you play generally sport, A, because you love it, and B, because you want to win. And we was no different. So that's a real disappointment, I think, for me that we didn't see that over the line when we were. I don't want to say comfortable. That's the wrong word, but I think they felt they'd lost it. Do you know what I mean? Even with about 10 minutes to go, they were cramping. They was all on the floor. I know they'd had a real heavy season that year. I think with European competitions and cup competitions, so they've played a lot of games, but they were spent, kind of thing. So. The fact that we allowed them back into that was a real shame.
What was the mood like in the changing room after?
Bit of shell shock, really. I think a bit of shell shock. I don't think really anyone knew how to react. I think it's just because I don't think it really sank in. Do you know what I mean? I think once we went to penalties, I think they'd had a few penalty shootouts that year anyway, and we knew Liverpool. I think once it went to penalties, I think subconsciously deep down we knew we weren't going to win, although you'd still have that chance, kind of thing. They had Reina in goal that was very good, and obviously you go through the list of players that were obviously very good at penalties. But I think it was a bit of shell shock. I think we couldn't quite realise how close we were, and to be honest, I don't think I really realised probably 5-6 years later, kind of thing, until you actually start thinking back about it because everything's going on and you're playing and blah blah blah. But yeah, it was a real disappointment looking back, because I felt with that group that we had, like I said, with the ones that we brought in the summer, the new ones, the ones that had the year before, I just felt like, I'm a bit biased, but I felt like we deserved it. Do you know what I mean? I felt like we deserved it. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. And it's a shame that it just didn't go our way. Do you know what I mean? And you can say, oh, this and that, and do you know what I mean? And the only reason he hit it from 35 yards is because he was knackered, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? If he had more energy, he might have taken another touch and crossed it out of play or something like that. But he was that tired, he just whacked it and it went in. And do you know what I mean? It's a real disappointment, like for me, for a real regret that we didn't win that. Because it'd be lovely to sit at home with an FA Cup winners medal in your cabinet.
Well, don't worry, your Tottenham in-laws don't have any of them either. They've still got none. We're still got the same amount as they do.
That's it, yeah. I think they've got an Audi Cup. I think he keeps going on about. They won the Audi Cup in pre-season.
Yeah, I'm sure they cherish that one. Did we prepare for penalties in the lead-up? I think every fan just assumes, in a very easy, simple life, there's like maybe one day in that 2-week build-up or a week build-up, whatever, that one day you just go in and just do nothing but pens. Did we prepare for it, or is it a case of Liverpool are almost in a way too good that you either win or you lose in that 90 period, because chance of taking Liverpool to penalty shootouts is probably slim to some extent?
No, yeah, we definitely practiced, and we practiced for when we was in the playoffs as well. So I can't remember which one. I can't remember whether it was the FA Cup or it was the playoffs, but I think there was an international tournament, and Peter Cech coming.
This one, because the FA Cup was 06, so that'd be World Cup 06.
Yeah, so I think Peter Cech come in to train with us with Ludic, who obviously there was a bit of a relationship there, I think. So he come in to train for a few days, and I remember we practiced penalties against him as well. Do you know what I mean? At the end of training. So yeah, we definitely were well prepped for it. I think the fact you had their players that had experienced penalties at a big stage like that, and maybe some of us that didn't. I mean, I can't even remember who took our penalties, and I can't even remember who scored and who missed. So, but I think they just had, like I said, Reina was in goal. He was notorious for saving penalties. All their players were notorious for taking penalties and scoring them in big competitions. So, yeah, it was our biggest chance was in that 90 minutes, and to hold out for another 5 seconds, even 10 seconds, and we would have seen it through. And yeah, it would have been amazing. But it's a tough one to take for sure.
You got subbed off 20 minutes to go or something. We were winning 3-2. To be fair, we were winning when you came off the pitch. Were you due to take a penalty?
I don't think so. No, I think I'd taken one the year before in against Sheffield United. I think it was in an FA Cup replay or maybe first leg or something. And I took one there and I missed it. So probably not. No, I don't think. I think there were definitely better ones than me that were up there to take it. I wouldn't have taken one. But yeah, 70th minute. I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of chasing shadows that day, kind of thing. So, but needs be kind of thing. That's what you had to do for the team. But yeah, it was like I said, just a real shame for the group that we didn't see it through, because like I said, I felt we deserved it. I felt the club deserved it. I felt we deserved it over the 2 years that we'd had. And even in the game, like I said, even second half, I know we conceded the second goal and stuff, and then you get a bit of luck with Conch's cross, stroke shot, stroke shank.
Cross.
Yeah, definitely a cross. I think he was even trying to time waste. They're probably just trying to kick it out of play. It just went in. But no, I think I just felt like we just deserved. Do you know what I mean? Because we were fairly. I don't want to say comfortable, but we felt in control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you weren't under the cosh, were you?
Yeah, defensively we felt quite solid. I felt ideally we'd probably had like a few more possessions and bits and bobs, but against Liverpool when they're chasing the game that you wouldn't. But I think we felt fairly comfortable going into them last few moments or last half an hour, I suppose. Just like I said, just a real shame to see it through.
Last FA Cup related question, back to Carl Fletcher, the Welshman. This final was also at the Millennium Stadium. And I'm interested to get your thoughts on this, because most people watching this will be English and they'll think, what are you two talking about? But I can't tell As a Scotsman, I can't tell if I'd like the FA Cup final be at Hampden, because when I grew up, it was always FA Cup for West Ham at Wembley. That was always the dream, playing for an FA Cup
Yeah,
final at Wembley. But to have it at Hampden would sort of be special because it's in my country. But at the same time, it's sort of like not really what I dreamt of. So for you, was it
okay.
special being Welsh playing at the Millennium Stadium, or
Mm.
was it a bit like, well, it's not really what I grew up dreaming of?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. It was special being at Millennium. Do you know what I mean? I think that was really nice. I think it was it the last one? Is that, have I made that up?
I think so. Yeah, I
The
think it
last
was.
one
Yeah.
might have been the last one at Millennium. I think the fact that it wasn't going to be at the Wembley that I grew up seeing made me feel like I wasn't worried about it not being at Wembley. I don't think I would have wanted it at the new Wembley. I mean, I don't like the new Wembley. Like, do you know what I mean? The old
Yeah,
Wembley
yeah.
with the two towers and it was white and the walk across the gravel and that if that was still up and we weren't allowed to play there and we had to play at the Millennium, then I would have been disappointed because I grew up watching that. The managers walking the team out and the flags and just everything about the day from that kind of thing. But the fact that that was kind of knocked down and it was the new Wembley, then it didn't really bother me at all. No, not at all.
Never considered
Not at
that.
all.
I like that answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
FA Cup final was due to be your last game
Mm.
for West Ham. You perhaps didn't
Mm.
know it though. How did the move to Crystal Palace come about?
Yeah, so we was on pre-season tour of Sweden. And again, like I said, I had a season where not really played a lot, and I knew I played a little bit towards the end, but generally wasn't, in line to be the starting midfielder going into the new season. So yeah, we was in Sweden. Um, Alan Pardew sat me down. He said, "Listen, we've had a bid from Palace for you." He said the club have accepted it, but he said it's entirely up to you. He said if you want to go, go. If you don't, great, stay here, kind of thing. So, and Palace had obviously just come down from the Premier League the year we went up, and again wanted to play. Just got promoted with West Ham. Just kind of feel like could you do that again, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That kind of scenario. And I think just playing football was my main motivation. So yeah, went and spoke to them. Everything was fine. But yeah, I decided to go. Hindsight, shouldn't have gone. Shouldn't have
Really?
gone. Yeah, definitely shouldn't have gone.
How come?
But like, no slight on Palace as a thing. And do you know what I mean? Like I said, I made some good friends there and a real good club and stuff. But I just felt like I should have just seen out. It was my last year at West Ham. I should have just seen it out because you never know what happens in football, kind of thing. And again, that's the experience of when I was younger. It's always kind of like, oh, I've got to play. I need to be playing this week. I need to be playing this week. Where sometimes I probably just needed someone to go, do you know what? Just bide your time a little bit. Just wait. Do you know what I mean? And I might have missed 6 months, but you never know. I might have played. There might have been injuries. I might have played again. Do you know what I mean? That kind of scenario. So I just needed someone to say that, but I just wanted to go somewhere and play. But I should have been more patient and I should have stayed. And I probably didn't realise that till, well, I said, yeah, like a few years after. Do you know what I mean? I should have just seen out my last year, my contract, and just taken it from there really and see where I went from there. I mean, there was obviously a lot of changes at West Ham in that third year after I left as well. Do you know what I mean? In terms of players coming in and stuff. So I mean, I would have even been further down the pecking order because Mascherano come in and Tevez come in and stuff like that. So there's no way to say that I would definitely have stayed there all season. I might have gone somewhere else, but I think I should have just been a bit more patient with it. Do you know what I mean? And kind of just got sucked into that desire to, which is, you know what I mean? Some would say it's stupid, or someone say it's thing, but I just wanted to play football. I think at the time I just I couldn't train all week and then just sit on the bench or sit in the stand, kind of thing. It didn't feel right for me, and I just wanted to play. So, yeah, that was the reason why. I think everyone was really good at the club. Do you know what I mean? Al, Granty, do you know what I mean? All the coaching staff. Do you know what I mean? They were kind of like, look, entirely up to you. I think, where I was quite professional and honest and stuff around the place, I was a good trainer. I'd like to think I was a good trainer. Do you know what I mean? Never really would upset the apple cart or things like that kind of thing. So I was just, what's the word? I think they would have been more than happy for me to be around, knowing that, if they need me for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even one game out of 20, then I'd probably come in and be able to do a job, kind of thing. So yeah, it was a shame. It was a shame to leave, and like I said, I just got a little bit probably stubborn in my head and just went, do you know what, I'm going to play football. It's a shame. Like I said, we had a great group. Do you know what I mean? Like still friends with, really close friends with a lot of the players that were there at the time. See them on a regular basis, and even the ones that, like I said, we had different friendship groups, but everyone was connected in some way, which was great. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, really good times.
Well, while you were there, you only had one man, John Pardew, which is quite rare, especially at this day and age, and even more rare if you were to play for Watford. We'd have to get through about 8 of them quickly, right? We'll just rattle off about this one. That manager, what do you think of his 2 weeks there? But while you were at West Ham, you only had Alan Pardew. What do you make of him? Because he's definitely a manager that splits opinions between players that played under him.
Yeah, I think, I think he was a great fit for West Ham, I think, at the time. I think obviously because, like I said, the pressure of the Championship, that's not easy to take. And if you're not strong-minded, then that can obviously affect you and affect your decision making, and you can get worried about more pressure than there is actually on you and all the noise from outside. So I think it was good from that point of view. I think he was really good when we went in the Premier League, because I think it was kind of the era where a lot of teams getting promoted were being defensive all the time, and we'll stick 10 behind the ball and we'd still lose 5-0 kind of thing. Where I remember first time we started the season, he went in and went, nope, we're going to attack every team we play. Obviously, the big teams, maybe Chelsea, there might be a little bit of change on that. But, I think at the time might have been a big top 5, maybe. I think he took them out the side and he said, this is our league. The rest of the teams, this is our league, and we're going to attack them. We're going to go to Newcastle and try and win. We're going to go to Villa and try and win. We're not going to go to these clubs and sit behind the ball and just wait to get beat, kind of thing. We were very positive, and I think that worked well with the group. It worked well with the players that we had, with their attributes, to kind of go and attack on the front foot. And I think that was definitely a positive for us. Do you know what I mean? I think that he managed that really well. I mean, it's another time it might have gone all tits up and got beat 6-7 in the first couple of games, but it didn't. We had the group. We was on the snowball from the playoffs. Everyone was confident. Players were doing well. The additions he brought in were really good. Fitted into the group well, and yeah, it just kind of let the players take care of what they need to do on a Saturday afternoon.
Right, time for some fun genetic questions to end the interview. Give me your best players. The best players you played with at West Ham. I mean, they had quite a few, to be fair. There's certainly one or two that spring to my mind, but I want your ones. Who were the best ones you played with?
I mean, it's probably a common one. I think so. So I'll give you 3. So the experienced one was obviously Ted. Do you know what I mean? Just so good. Like even training, everything. He was playing a different game to everyone else, kind of thing. Just so composed and so much quality going through his whole body, kind of thing. So he's one of the best ones. My one that doesn't get mentioned that I really love playing with was Gabs. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously being a midfielder, defender behind me, he just done so well. He read the game. He was athletic. He was strong, technically very good. I think he got really kind of underrated at the time when he was playing for the years at West Ham. And yeah, I thought he was a great player. I mean, obviously I was lucky enough to play with him at Wales as well, so I knew, what a good player he was. But he was just, I always felt confident when he was playing behind me, kind of thing, because I knew that if I give it away, then hopefully he'd stop them. So that was a bonus for me, kind of thing. And I think also, and then a younger one that's coming through was Nobes at the time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's an absolute disgrace that he's not played for England. Do you know what I mean? But he was just coming through at 17, 18, 19 at the time, and just a real good character. You could see his love for football at the time, and it was infectious. It was infectious in all of us. And so, yeah, I'd say they're the main 3. Obviously, there were great players for different reasons. Dean Ashton just loved to score, hated training, hated keep balls, didn't want to touch the ball. Yeah, he used to do like a keep ball in training or even before a game. He'd just stand in the corner and just be like, just don't give me the ball. Like, I don't want it. Just don't give it to me. Because he'd just give it away. You know what I mean? But just do a shooting session and he'd just smashing them in the top corner, heading them in the top corner, volleys, left foot, right foot. Just ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Yossi, again, terrible trainer. Do you know what I mean? Looked like he was about 3 stone, soaking wet. So he was, but he had just real good natural ability. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I was really lucky, really lucky. I mean, I think the good thing for us, we had good players and we had good characters as well. Do you know what I mean? There was all different. There was all a little bit something to each kind of person, which I think was really added to the squad as a whole.
I was going to ask you that. Who were the biggest characters in your time at West Ham? Who was the jokers of the pack?
I mean, I first got there Stephen Bywater, absolute nutcase.
We get told that often by Stephen. Whenever you ask
Mate,
us, say Bywater's a
how
nutter.
how that geezer is not in like some kind of institution, I have no idea. But he's a funny guy. I really like Steve. He was a good guy. Jimmy Walker, do you know what I mean? Great guy. Do you know what I mean? Makes you feel $1 million every time you speak to him, even when you see him now. Do you know what I mean? Really fun. I think I can't remember if it was the playoff final or the FA Cup final. I think before the dinner or the meeting before, I think he got up and sang a song. I'm pretty sure he did. He just wanted to get out. I think he just said to the manager, "Can I get up and sing a song?" And he just started singing a song, which was really good. So he was a character, and obviously, like I said, buyers and stuff. And then like I said, just some good players, just some good honest pros. You know what I mean? Ginge obviously coming in, Nobes. Do you know what I mean? Young and enthusiastic. Just some real good players around the place, which was really nice.
Was there any surprises, good or bad, whether it's on the pitch or on the training pitch or in the change room? Any players that you, when they either you arrived or came in, did you think, "Whoa, wasn't expecting that from that player"?
Probably it might sound a strange one, but Bobby Zamora. So I think I played against Bobby. I think he started his career at Bristol Rovers. So where I was from, Bournemouth, we would have played against each other at like under 18s, under 16s level kind of thing, kind of coming up as we grow up. And I don't think didn't really go too successfully. And he kind of moved to Brighton where he scored all the goals. And then you see him from a distance, you think, oh, okay, great, and he's a goal scorer and stuff. And then when you come in and you see him, what a lovely fella. Do you know what I mean? Joker, love the laugh. Do you know what I mean? Definitely big character. But what a good footballer he was. I think he come from Spurs from then, didn't he? I don't think it went too well for him at Spurs. But yeah, just a good player. Left foot, right foot. Do you know what I mean? Mobile, athletic, had an eye for a goal. And I think he probably surprised me because I only probably remember playing against him at Bristol Rovers. Do you know what I mean? So to kind of see him up close on a day-to-day basis, you realise, you know, what he had in his locker. And like I said, just brought so much to the group on and off the pitch.
Random question. I've made him a bit of a mission this year to find out who nicknamed Alan Pardew Chocolate. So I guess the question is, was he already named that prior to your arrival? And B, do you know who it was? Because I like it.
Do you know what? I don't know. I have a feeling it was beforehand. I have a feeling it was beforehand because I think I may have heard that even when he may have been at Reading, kind of thing. So I think it probably would have been someone earlier before our time. But yeah, it was fine. I don't think he even minded it. I think he quite enjoyed it. But yeah, I think it was like I said. But that was, you know, that was the kind of good character we needed at the time. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, to get out of the Championship, where, you know, if you're not winning at 2-0 after 15 minutes against Gillingham, you know, you're getting pelters, really. You know, the crowd, you know, demanding. And to kind of withstand that and go through that promotion and then to kind of take it on into the Premier League was just had that. You have to have that strong-willed, strong mentality to kind of see us through some difficult moments.
Did your time at West Ham and I guess every other club you've been at help you with your job you do now? I guess you're going to have to explain what you do now. I know what you do, but for the viewers that don't know, what you're up to these days, and has your playing career aided your progress in that sector, I guess?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely 100%. So I do the loan. I'm a loans manager at Bournemouth, which is great. Do you know what I mean? Really enjoy it. Yeah, 100% it's helped me. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got players that are going out on loan from, you know, Conference South, Conference level, League 2, League 1, Championship. You know, it's lucky that I've been able to play in all of them divisions. So I've got that kind of experience. I've got experience of playing with different players, playing in different tournaments, different finals and things like that. So it's a definite help to be able to, you know what I mean? I think obviously football is different today, but just to give a little bit of realization to some of the players going out on loan. Obviously, it helps with contacts and stuff and seeing people. Do you know what I mean? I speak to Conch quite a bit because he's obviously the loans manager at West Ham and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it definitely helps with aiding the players when we get them out on loan. Because generally, whatever kind of scenario they're going through, whether it's moving away from home for the first time, this manager wants to do this a certain way, or I've got these kind of players, or whatever it is, I've kind of probably generally been through it. So it's a real help to me in the role I do at the minute.
Good man. Enjoy your time at West Ham?
Yes, yeah, loved it. Yeah, like I said, yeah, looking back, should have stayed longer. I think coming from Bournemouth, again, probably didn't realise how big it was, West Ham. Do you know what I mean? I think the first time we went pre-season, played a pre-season friendly randomly somewhere in Sweden on a little park pitch, and there was probably 5,000 West Ham fans. Do you know what I mean? They're supporting us, and you think, blimey. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, really loved it. Like I said, we had a really good group, made some good friends that I still see today on a regular basis. And again, didn't win the FA Cup, but we had a couple of successful seasons. The time was there. So, yeah, really fond memories, mate, definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Carl. Massively appreciate it. Thoroughly enjoyed talking to you as well. If you guys at home have enjoyed this video, do drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Carl, thank you very much.
No worries. Have a good day.